What is up, everybody? My name is Hector Flores, host of the Insert Name FC podcast, a member of the Belly of Sports Media Network. You can find us on all things podcasting, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix from. You will find us there. Full video version of this podcast is available on Belly Up's YouTube channel. So just go to YouTube, look up Belly Up Sports, and you will find us there along with other content as well as sports podcasts from High Low Sports with Kelsey and DJ, Corner Booth Pod with Jared and his gang, Vince Stover and the Stove Report, also the Fantasy Football Show. Lots of great content there, man. Check it out, especially if you are in the U.S. and you're a fan of U.S. sports. That is the place to be. Also, you'll see me from time to time on Goals TV, GOZ.TV. Follow them on YouTube as well. Subscribe to them. And also check out their social media as well. And once again, speaking of social media, check us out on social media at Insert Name FC on all things social media, Facebook, Instagram, X. You'll get us there pretty frequently. So this episode, Edward's not available. He had his boys this weekend, so was not available for this episode. So this episode, we're actually gonna have somebody here to talk with me. So there is that. But yeah, we're gonna talk about the FIFA World Cup draw because that happened. Share my thoughts. Personally, I think it's stupid. Not the things that people were complaining. Actually, the things that people were complaining about, I find that stupid. I think the whole thing of the World Cup draw is stupid. So, my opinion might be a lot different versus others who were very critical of just this event in general, which I still think is it. They call the U.S.'s presentation of the World Cup draw cringy. The World Cup draw is cringy. There's no sugarcoating that part. It's a cringy event. There's some things that the U.S. definitely did that was also worth a note, but we'll get there when we get there. And we also have MLS Cup final. We're gonna recap the final. And the final and the World Cup draw discussion is going to feature Moussa from Mo Football TV. Good friend Moussa. He's going to come on to talk about all the things of those two subject matters. We also got Liga MX. The semifinals have concluded, so we have a final. So we'll recap the semifinals and then preview the final. Once again, I know that they already played by the time this episode drops. Actually, they might have not played. Don't quote me on that one. Don't quote me on that one. They're actually going to... Oh, actually, by the time this episode does drop, the first game will be played. So there's not going to be any... But speaking of that, should mention also, we do have a YouTube channel. We break these episodes into shorter videos, which we also then drop onto... on our personal YouTube channel. So also follow us at Insert Name FC on YouTube. But Liga MX playoffs, no more players of the week. So if you guys know, we do a year end of the year episode. So we need to kind of figure out who's going to be our Player of the Year award winner. So we're going to dedicate this week and next week for that because our end of the year episode will be on... Actually, it'll be next week. So, to give you guys a week to do the voting for the Player of the Year award. So, because next week will be our end of the year episode. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, because we're going into the Christmas holiday. So next week will be our end of the year episode, where we'll look at the tables and go from there. But yeah, no players of the week. We'll give you guys some games to follow through this coming weekend. And then wrap this show up in a pretty little bow. I think I should. We'll get there to games to highlight. We'll do because obviously the table now for the jersey bet is also concluded. Speaking of jersey bets, I will be announcing the jersey bet here in this episode. So find out how to enter for the jersey giveaway will be on this episode. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, so pretty straightforward episode. You guys get to listen to Moussa, who's always a good time to talk to, so get ready for that. So with all that being said, we'll relax. We're going to take a break and then go right into the 2026. I don't know why I kept saying 2025. The 2026 FIFA World Cup draw with Moussa of Mo Football TV. Let me tell you guys about Belly Up Sports. Belly Up Sports is the internet sports bar. Go ahead and check out their website, www.bellyupsports.com, to read some great articles from great writers all across the country, from hockey, baseball, golf, soccer, you name it. Belly Up Sports is the premier, not your average website. All right, guys. Special guest, always a great friend of the show. Also, full circle moment, because AFCON's kicking off actually in a few weeks. That's actually how this beautiful friendship started, was because of AFCON. And of course, Moussa of Mo Football TV. Thank you for coming on, being clutch as always, as you are.
My pleasure. It's been a while.
It has. You know what? That's the theme so far this season. It's been a while. Like, I just recently brought back Jose, Kelsey, and all of them. So yeah, that's literally been the theme this season. It's been a while since I invited people over, and I need to start doing that again. So that's my New Year's resolution. That will be for make sure more friends come on the show. But Moussa, World Cup draw. First of all, what is your thoughts in general of World Cup draws? Like, just in general, nothing like too specific. Like, just in general, what are your thoughts of the World Cup draw?
I think that in general, what it's supposed to be, it's like a huge gathering, like we just discussed, right? It's been a while, where all the former players, executive, anyone that's kind of involved in world soccer, kind of get together and like, hey, here's my friends. This is the friendly kickoff. Mm-hmm. So usually for us, it's like, you get excited about the song, what's you're going to hear for 6 weeks and who's going to be involved. But that excitement pretty much crash and burn this one.
I can see that. I think one of my quick my whole thought process of World Cup draws is it's already an awkward event, in my opinion, because it's literally just, and it's normally for like iconic players that are doing the draw. Obviously, you have the host. There's nothing like, to me, out of the ordinary usually. But in general, to me, it's a very awkward process where it's just literally them. You see the player just maneuver the balls around, and they pick a whatever country. Hopefully they pronounce the country's name right. And that's also happens across the world. It's not just American specific.
Yes.
But like, I don't know. It's just, it is, to me in general, it's just an awkward process. Now, I will say the one thing that I noticed that was different about this one versus the last one that was in Qatar, there was the guy that was pulling out the country, and then the guy that was pulling out the group.
Right. Yep.
So that was the only thing that was like, okay, that's a bit different, because normally you had two guys, one on one set of balls, one on the other set of balls. There's no way I cannot say this without sounding kind of weird, guys.
Pause it as much as you need to. Yeah.
But that was, to me, how it has been previously. I think the same thing happened for 2014 and 2018, every other World Cup. I feel like that's always been the same process. It was like one drew for the group and one drew for the nation that would be featured in it. Obviously, this is a little different. It's the expanded World Cup. We now have 48 teams, not 32. So it is a lot of moving parts, I guess. So maybe because of it being different with more groups, maybe that's why they decided to do it based on your pot number, not so much, group and, pot number and whatever group you were in. But that was the only thing I thought was different. But either way, I think this process is very awkward.
It was weird too. I think the one where each president or representative picked their country, which that was kind of a little awkward. And I don't remember a time where they had that many politicians or even presidents being that much involved. And it was not planned properly because we were way behind schedule. An hour?
Yeah.
Hour and a half?
So I watched glimpse of it because obviously I had to go do some searching through YouTube to find it. I actually found one that was a French translation. I heard some of the English being spoken about, so I guess I learned French that day.
There you go.
At least I tried. I was like, oh, I know that word.
Yep.
But no, I think yes, this was a little bit weird. I've never like because what I tried to do because I know I heard a lot of complaints about this one, so I was like, let me look back at Qatar. Let me see if Qatar did anything similar or different. And yeah, like I didn't see any sheiks or anybody from the Qatar government, which is also a very controversial government, by the way. But
It's a
um,
trend now.
yeah, it just seems to be a trend. Uh, yeah, like as a matter of fact, weirdly enough, Carly Lloyd was one of the hosts of that draw. Like Carly Lloyd was essentially the real Ferdinand for that to kind of explain the groups, like the whole process of the draw. And I mean, you had Cafu, Tim Cahill, and this was a name drop. JJ Okacha. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, huh, don't remember him.
What?
I remember him playing for Birmingham or Bolton. I think it was Bolton.
Dude.
It was Bolton.
Yeah, Sewell Bolton. So you missed your childhood. You missed out that
I mean, I was only limited with the Premier League.
he was like our Ronaldinho, African Ronaldinho. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
With a dribble.
So wasn't familiar to this game. I will be watching to give some respect. I gotta show my love to my Nigerian friends. But Cafu, I mean, Brazilian icon, captain.
Yes.
So I mean, there's at least there's that for me. But yeah, so like I remember that. So I was trying to because I like once again trying to see the comparisons to this one versus now. Gianni Infantino is he's just an awkward guy. Like I think
he's living life.
He's living his life. I think the weird making the USA chants, the Canada chants, and the Mexico chants, little different. I know you're trying to get the crowd going, but that was also a segment of the crowd. So it was a weird process. The whole thing was weird. The village people was there. That's all I really could say about that.
I had no clue what happened to that one, but yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yes, this was a weird World Cup draw, which is bizarre because I always say it's weird to begin with. But so how do you feel about the complaint of the lack of soccer players?
110%. Because if you watch the previous one, it's like former players, former people that have won the tournament, like captains, legendary, where you're like, oh, we have not seen such person in 10, 15 years. So it's like one of those things where they sort of have their history that they could speak of and they've been there. But I kind of understand how they wanted to do it with the US, kind of maybe try to pick a little bit of, all of the other American sports.
Mm-hmm.
But you put it to a certain way where it almost made it look awkward per se. Because if it was up to me, maybe Tom Brady, even though he's, GOAT in American football, I could probably pick 5 or 6 other NFL players that have more tied to soccer. Like Chad Johnson, Ososhenko, he's a huge soccer guy.
I would have loved
yes.
Ososhenko.
Yeah, and Ferdinand, his comedy thing was, I don't know why they did that. It looks like Hollywood too much.
Oh yeah, that with Iker Casillas that you're talking about.
Yeah, and like the sketch he did, like you're a football player, soccer player. You're not a comedian. I mean, push come to shove.
Class of 92, man. You're class of 92.
Yeah. You're already paying Kevin Hart, who is one of the great comedians. Make him do the sketch.
Honestly, a lot of people complain about Kevin Hart. Didn't have an issue.
I had an issue of being like the person that was presenting and all that, but that's his job as a comedian. Mm-hmm. Maybe he should have done that with some of those players and kind of made it. Rio is a defender. We have not seen him being a comedian. There's other guys. Richard from Man City, he's a funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been very funny to do that. I don't think Rio Ferdinand was the right guy first to do it. And 2, it's a World Cup draw. Why are you doing a comedy sketch?
Yeah,
No.
it was that was bizarre. I mean, Kevin Hart. I'm sure some people didn't get. I mean, one, if you know, if you're living in the United States and you've seen any event, period, Kevin Hart has at least hosted it at some point.
Oh, he's
So
everywhere. Yeah.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, he's very funny. He's comical. So as far as a host goes, I think he was good. I think he was
Oh, yeah.
perfectly fine. Um, yeah, Rio. Look, you're there to help walk everybody through the process of the World Cup draw. Did he do a good job? As to that extent, yes. I think you're right
Yes.
about the
Yep.
comedic part. Like, let Shaq do it. Let Shaq be
Yeah.
funny.
There you go.
Let
Yes.
Shaquille O'Neal be funny. Tom Brady, I think, yeah, it was a weird pick, but I think as far as like my whole thing was Tom Brady, Shaq, Wayne Gretzky, by the way, which I think was a good pick as far as like having representation for Canada.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
all for that. Aaron Judge was weird. I love Shaq.
Who?
Shaq for entertainment value was great. I
Oh,
think
yes.
first of all, it was just hilarious seeing the ball just look even smaller. So that was like the thing that I liked. Tom Brady, I think is fine just because I think that's a name most people will know, even if you don't watch American football. I feel like most people were like, "Oh yeah, that's Tom Brady." To some, and I mean, of course, you know who Shaquille O'Neal is. I mean, there's.
Yeah, everybody does. Yes. Yes.
I feel like with Aaron Judge, I think that was a missed opportunity to bring
Like who?
a Mexican athlete. Like
Yeah.
that was what was missing to me was you didn't have representation for Mexico. Technically, Chad Ochocinco has Mexican roots, but I mean, you could have
Yeah.
had a Canelo Alvarez there. Uh, I mean, Checo Perez, he's not busy yet. He's taking a break right now from F1.
And his boxing, like, yeah, all these sports could have come in, and NHL has a lot of soccer players that I've seen some of their like pre-game
Mm-hmm.
when MLS teams go and visit them. They're doing rondo and dribble. I'm like, you have that. Ren Grisky was the only Canadian.
That you can
Like,
think, of, yeah.
put Kevin Nash. For God's sake, he's a legend in soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they
I
could
mean,
have.
Steve
He was a
Nash.
great pick. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, Steve
Steve
Nash.
Nash
Sorry. Yes.
would have been a great person to represent Canada. I think Wayne Gretzky, as far as like goats, obviously when it comes to hockey,
Yeah.
iconic player. I think a lot of Canadians will know who Wayne Gretzky is.
Yeah.
I mean some Americans as well. I mean hockey's not
I hope
as
so. Yeah.
popular, but yeah, I think if you were gonna go that route of having anybody else that doesn't play soccer, I think that you're missing out on maybe a Mexican athlete. Like, why didn't we have Mexico represented in that? Because I mean, when I think of the Concacaf Gold Cup when they did their drawings, I mean, you had a Mexican, I believe, a Canadian, which was Dwayne De Rosario. Yeah, like you had representation of the region, and I think because once again, yes, the U.S. is the majority host of the World Cup. The final will be in New Jersey, but you still have Mexico and you still have like this is the to me I don't view it as the USA World Cup. I
Nope.
view it as the North American. This is the
Yep.
probably one of the once in a lifetime opportunities where an entire continent besides Australia could host a World Cup. And that's huge. That's massive just in general. And I think that was like I think to me what bummed me out was that wasn't highlighted as much as it should have. Especially when we awarded Donald Trump the Peace Award, which I don't know what that meant, but he did something, I guess.
uh, yeah, that one, I guess, is that Peace Prize. Um, I guess they will have to determine what really the peace part of it is. Um, and I told a lot of friends of mine, is like, of all of the soccer players that stop wars, that have become presidents, that have, you know, put treaties together, that have brought continents together, there's a long list of, at least give that to a soccer player that's done something impactful. Like,
I mean, George Weah is literally like
a president.
George Weah is literally the president of Libya. So,
Yeah. I mean,
wait,
and
president or
Liberia.
he is the president of Liberia, or he's
Yes.
okay?
Yes. And did the Drogba stop the civil war? like, like there's Rashford feeding the homeless in England, and putting some of his money aside.
I mean,
Ronaldo is thinking
Sadio Mane building schools in Senegal
hospitals. Yes, I mean, there's.
while using a broken
I think that
iPhone
was a miss. Yes, I mean there was a missed chance because it's like soccer is one of those few
for the
sports where, yeah,
inaugural peace award.
yes, like come on,
Like that's
like
gonna be the image right there. Is just
yeah, and
the
that's what people are talking about now.
with a fresh spray tan just comes in. We got to see the dance. That's the dance was
I
featured
saw that
during the YMCA. I didn't really watch what the village people sang. I'm assuming YMCA. That's the only song.
Yeah, that's. I think that's what it was. I had to go back to work. Yes.
I didn't even know they were still performing. I don't even,
right.
might not be the original members. But I do have one complaint. Of this is the complaints that were said during the World. I do agree with some of the complaints. Maybe a little bit can some be, in my opinion, a bit much, just because I mean I just in general find the World Cup draw just awkward and cringy.
Right.
But yeah, Infantino, man, you topped it though. I didn't think you could make it even more awkward, but you definitely did it. But this was a complaint that I had for 2022 as well. But maybe for 2022 was a little different just because of how urgent I felt like how urgent we had to move because of the fact that we were playing it in the winter. Versus this time. Do you feel like it's too early to be doing this right now?
For 6 months ahead,
I mean,
I'll probably say yes.
like
For certain,
we still have a few spots left that we still don't know who. Like, cause if you look at the groups right now, it's just like it's not complete, right? Because we don't know who's gonna come out of the UEFA paths and the two FIFA paths.
Yep.
So like that's where I'm like, you couldn't wait till April to like do maybe immediately after the those games were played. Like we have to do this now. Where to me it looks unprofessional, which honestly at this point it's pretty on point for FIFA. So
yeah, and I think it was like logistic wise too, because I think then there's the AFCON, so that means teams has to almost start to make their decision on who's going and who isn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the stadium now that now they know who they're going to be hosting. So now they have to make their plans. So I think it was like all of these countries and all logistic wise. But also if you think about it, some of these playoff games are happening in March. So that means based on that, it's then what, March, April, May,
and then
you have the World Cup.
Yeah.
So that means I think maybe some team might have more advantage knowing who they're playing against, like etc. So I think from what I've heard, it was logistic wise, but also what other leagues as well are playing and not playing. Marseille was playing against Lille during the ceremony in France.
That's right. It was on a Friday.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
So it was one of those things, I guess. If you have time, hey, it was the middle of the day for us. Like, how many people you want to come and watch it?
Yeah. Okay, I gotta ask you this because I also this is something that I saw a lot on like just throughout social media was the amount of complaints that I've heard, and this has nothing to do with the draw, but the amount of complaints that people are having with the times of these matches.
Centric times.
Yeah.
Yep. They've not learned from the Club World Cup.
And I think the one thing is I literally woke up at like 2 a.m. to watch
Japan,
to watch Brazil take on beat Germany in the World Cup final. If I could do that and then go to church immediately after, I could do it at like the age of what was that 2002. So
we won't age you.
10 years. I was 9. I wasn't even 10 yet. I was 9 years old, and somehow I woke up early in the morning, being like shook by my dad to watch because I gotta watch Brazil to beat Germany, and so like if I can do it, you guys can stay up till 2 a.m.
I think it's just then some that maybe have not been used to. We've done it for Japan 2002, right? That we had to wake up crazy hours. So maybe we're used to that because we have to follow the sun, like they say on the time. But I think it's one of those other experiences that maybe not everybody culturally have experienced. The different time zone, that means you have to wake up or stay up late. I mean, I'll do that for the AFCON as well.
Yeah, I think for me it was just that like how people complain that like Americans think the whole world revolves around them, which is not that's not
For
false.
sure.
I definitely agree with that notion, but there is also those Europeans that I
Yep.
feel like the sentiment is also roughly the same.
Yep.
I.e. the people that keep trying to get me to believe that British food is great. Besides beans,
No
that's the only thing
comments.
I can only agree. That's the only thing I can agree. I do eat beans for breakfast.
Chips,
I mean, yeah,
fish.
yeah, fish and chips. That's a good. I don't know. I don't know the seasoning that you use. I season.
Yes, we do.
You season.
Yes, we do. Yes.
I don't know if you ever seen this quote. It was like John Taffer and this like British like food network personality, and they're just drinking and they're talking about food, and he's like, "You guys drink so much because your food's terrible." And they're like, and then
Wow.
the British guy was like, "Well, we have some of the best restaurants across the world." And I'm like, "What food do they serve? French."
Yeah.
so, so that's
You're
just
gonna get yourself in trouble now.
that's okay. It's okay. It wouldn't be my first time.
Eh, we're used
But
to it.
hey guys, this is Hector from the Insert Name FC podcast here to tell you guys about Canada Dips. It is a great tasting, superior alternative to traditional dip using CBD in a way that is radical, enjoyable, and effective. It comes in 5 core flavors: wintergreen, mint, citrus, mango, and American spice. Canada Dip CBD is the new evolution in dip, allowing guys to enjoy great, long-lasting taste without the downsides. If you guys want to go ahead and try them out, use the code BELLYUP20 at CanadipCBD.com. Once again, BELLYUP20 at CanadipCBD.com, and you'll get yourself 20% off your purchase. Thank you again for Canadips for being a great partner of Belly Up Sports. But yeah, to me, my only complaint really is just like it just looks weird when you look like, for example, Group A, right? It's Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and then whoever wins UEFA Path D. It's like
Yeah.
it just doesn't look complete, which is like crazy because I'm really excited about this group because of obviously we're having a rematch of the 2010 World Cup inaugural, the first match,
Yep.
South Africa
That's
versus
fun.
Mexico, which I cannot wait because I've heard too much from Mexican fans how easy this group is right now. So
That's what I heard too.
which I'm like, you guys have not been watching South Africa and you have not been not remember the game against Korea. So
Yeah, that's why I was, especially North Korea. I guess yeah, short-term memory.
sometimes you have to, man. So the groups, I'll quickly go like obviously if you're watching the video version, it's right there to our side, but if obviously the audio version, I'll quickly go through the groups. This isn't going to be a full breakdown by any means. That's not what I'm trying to do here. But Group A, I already mentioned it: Mexico, South Africa, Republic of Korea, and whoever wins from the pathway of Group D for UEFA. Group B is Canada, winner of Path A for UEFA, Qatar, and Switzerland. Group C is Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, Scotland. That just good God.
Yes.
I'm gonna pray for Haiti. Don't
underestimate them though.
I wouldn't underestimate them, but that might be group of death. I didn't think there was actually a group of death. That just might be the group of death, honestly.
I think there's one. There's
Group D is USA, Paraguay, Australia, and UEFA Path C. I don't know how this happened.
the whole one of the host country got very lucky. Let's just put it that way.
There's no easy groups. I want to put that out. There's no easy groups in the
But
World
there's
Cup.
an easier one.
But there's definitely this.
Yeah.
I was like, please God, give me Australia.
Oh, that's so wrong.
Australia's gonna attack me. It's okay. I know Stu from Australia as well. Group E is Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. That's gonna be a fun one. Group F is Netherlands, Japan. The winner of Path B for UEFA, and Tunisia. See how incomplete this just sounds when I say that out loud?
It's not the first time they had to do that, but yes.
Yeah. Group G is Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Okay, apologies. I, for some reason, did not, when we were previewing the teams, the countries that qualified, for some reason, I guess I didn't type Iran when I mentioned the Asian Confederation. My bad. It was a long day. It was a long day, but here's Iran. So apologies to the nation of Iran. I was like, there's no way this country did not
Sergeant
qualify.
is going to kill you, but yeah.
Xiaoyan complains about Iran enough, so I don't.
Yeah.
In Group H, we got Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Cape Verde is one of the nations that speak Spanish, correct?
Portuguese.
Portuguese, okay.
Yes.
Latin. All right.
Yeah.
Group I is France, Senegal. I'm so sorry. Winner of PAF 2 for FIFA and Norway. That's also a fun group, depending on who comes out of PAF 2.
Group of death for me.
Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. I mean, I've heard a lot of comments about this group. I heard a lot of comments about this group.
That's a pass, yep.
And I don't disagree. Group K is going to be Portugal, winner of PAF 1, which hopefully is the Republic of Congo. I just want to say Congo throughout this tournament. Uzbekistan and Colombia. That's going to be interesting. I want to see what kind of Val does with that Uzbekistan team, by the way. And good. Group L, which I think initially my thoughts was this was the group of death, which was England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. But I think France, Senegal, and Norway, that is... Okay, my first takeaway, and we'll do like 3 takeaways each of us, Moussa. My first takeaway is we're going to see Erling Haaland versus Kylian Mbappe for a group match.
Ballon d'Or, yeah.
Like this was supposed, at least what everyone viewed as the next Messi Ronaldo. I think it kind of staggered a little bit at some point, but it's still, these are two of, you would argue, best guys in their position, in their style of play. Yep. Obviously you have some bias, but I mean, when you saw the potential of having to face Erling Haaland and this Norway team, who I would say has been really hungry for an opportunity to be in the World Cup, like, how excited are you for that matchup?
I am to that point, but I think for me, for Norway especially, it will be a test to see how their style of play will match up with not only Senegal, but either if it's Suriname, Iraq, or Bolivia to play, because they're playing a lot of the Nordic teams. Mm-hmm. Now I want to see what they can do on the world stage, because what you have Holland, Odegaard, and then that's it. Mm-hmm. So I think this will be their true test, and luckily it's the extended World Cup. So I think 8 of the top 3 teams get to make it through.
Yes. So there'll be a round of 32.
Yeah. So maybe that will help. But for me, that's the group of death if they add one more to that, because technically, if you would expect it, there's like 3 of those teams technically supposed to be in the round of 32s. Mm-hmm. But there's one that might not make it.
Yeah, because I believe PAF 2 is the one. PAF 2, I believe that's the one where Iraq is in.
Yes, and Suriname and Bolivia, right?
Yeah.
And this one is a crazy one on top of that.
Yeah, so I honestly, all 3 of those teams, I feel frisky is the word to use. If you think of Suriname, you think of Bolivia. I mean, I would love to see Bolivia. I mean, just because I'm Latin biased, except for Mexico. But I think, that would be an interesting addition to that group. Suriname, I feel like, would be...
CONCACAF, yeah.
Yeah, that would be... especially with the Dutch influence, because that's basically... I don't want to be mean, but it is essentially like the Dutch reserve team. But...
I try to stay away from those reserve things.
I'm on the same boat. Which, I mean, Curacao is also Dutch influence as well, so I do want to mention that.
That's what people are saying about France and Senegal, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
It's a hot topic.
Yeah, definitely. I get that part. But Moussa, what's your first takeaway from the groups?
US, I think, should be on top of the group. Should. But I think the first game against Australia will determine what the rest of their tournaments will look like. Because that's, even though people are saying that's like the easier team that they're hoping for, but let's not forget that Australia does have World Cup experience and they've pulled some upsets before.
Mm-hmm.
So if you underestimate them now,
I think
it's the
also,
World Cup.
I mean, yeah, because the rematch is going to be interesting. The rematch against Paraguay is going to be really interesting, especially how that match finished. That friendly, nothing friendly about that game. PAF C, we potentially could have Turkey in here. So
And
that's
it's
three teams that the U.S. have played friendlies with within this year. The worst one being the performance they did on Turkey, which obviously was right before the Gold Cup, and obviously I would argue that's a different USA team where they are now. Obviously,
yeah.
Moussa, you're an outsider. Maybe you have a different perspective as far as the growth that Pochettino has done with the U.S. men's national team. Do you see some growth? Do you see something different about this U.S. team versus what we saw in the Gold Cup?
It's yeah, 100% different. And it looks like, always with time, they're starting to be more cohesive. But I think also the influence of having new players coming in to kind of try where it's brand new coach. So that means brand new staff. So that means brand new eyes, sets of eyes. So it's even if you were a starter last year, someone can take your spot now if they're hot at this moment. So I think that was the problem before, where a lot of those guys were comfortable in their positions because they knew they were a lock.
Mm-hmm.
But now Pochettino is like, hey, I'm even going to look at MLS players.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're hot now and you're not, they're going to take your spot.
Matt Freese, prime example of that. I
Yes.
mean, I'm sure
And
Matt.
Moussa is nowhere near.
Mm,
Like all of these guys, I think that's where it helps the US is that now there's sort of a depth where some of these guys is like, oh, you know what? They're just sending me to Camp Cupcake, like everybody calls it. It's like, no, I have a shot now and, take it by the throat. So I think it's the perfect timing for it. The only thing now they have to do is make sure they find the right competition to get ready for the World Cup now
mm-hmm. No, yeah,
and
I
stay
agree.
healthy.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily a national team. And I'm sure you agree with this, and this is probably one of the rarest times I actually agree with Alexi Lawless. It's not about the best collection of great players. It's about the best collective of players.
Yep.
And I think, even for France, even though a lot of people like to say that that's like an all-star team, just how great the French youth system, just in general, has done with a lot of the players is honestly the U20 team isn't really the U20 team for France because a lot of them are actually playing with the senior team,
Yep.
and respectively so. I mean, I think when I think of that 2018 France team, no one knew who Ben Pavard was. You know,
Yep.
maybe you did, but
I
like
do, but yes.
he was
Yeah.
this kid that played in the second division in Germany, and this guy is getting called up to play for France and was a very important player for France.
Yep.
It's once again, it's not about getting the best players in the world. It's about building the right team, and it's little decisions just like that that knows what will be the best interest in my team. That's what makes the
Yep.
real coaches. And I think Podge standing on his 2 feet and knowing like, hey, I'm that whole thing. I don't have regular players.
Yep.
Like that's not gonna be a thing. If you are Diego Luna, you talk about Camp Cupcake, goes into Camp Cupcake and all of a sudden becomes Pochettino's guy.
Yeah. Yes.
So I agree with that. I think France also has that same thing because you can look at every position group. There is top players in that position, and it's up to the coach to make sure that he gets the guy that fits to what he's doing.
Yep. And you see, he went and called Conte, who, even though he plays in the Saudi League and he's a little bit much older, no one thought that he was going to call him back. But he's like, hey, that's my guy. He's done the job that I need you guys, younger guys, to do. And it's like, hey, for the two qualifiers, Conte, you come back. And what happens? He has A-plus performance in those two games, and now they're like possibly he's going to go to to another World Cup.
Which I would love that.
But then you look at the depth, you got guys that are playing in the top leagues are starters in theirs. So I think that's where Pochettino, I think, has done well, is that there are the big names, but also he was not afraid to take a few from the guys that are actually hot at the moment, because the World Cup is who's hot at this moment. Brazil has a top grade team, but guess what? They have not won the World Cup since losing to France in '98 at 14 plus years.
Yeah.
But yet they have the best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
yeah,
that's pretty much how it works.
Exactly. My second takeaway is actually going to be Mexico versus South Africa. I think that that's going to be, it's crazy that like 16 years since that first game, which I remember in high school, all my friends like, oh dude, we're gonna stomp the floor with South Africa. Like they're nobody. They're just there because it's a host nation. I was like, I've never seen Mexico play an African nation. Like as far as my recollection goes, I was like, I don't think you guys ever played against an African nation. Like, do you guys really think you can keep up with their pace? Because I'm like, yeah, you can be physical and all that, but can you keep up with them? They'll probably tire out before but by halftime with the way they play, and like they're just like, bro, you don't know anything. And I was like, I would not be shocked if you guys draw. And Lord and behold, it was a 1-1 draw. And I remember I loved it because obviously South Africa scores the equalizer, I believe, and just the crowd. Like, I mean, obviously it's in South Africa. The crowd's going to be exhilarating, but to see that and see all the fun that they're having, which was very infectious in my opinion, which was one of the things I enjoyed about that World Cup. Because it kind of took me back to what really mattered, which was the game. And Mexico now has the chance to redeem themselves, even though this is probably one of the most overwhelming Mexican national teams I've seen in my lifetime, but do it in Mexico and try to return the favor with South Africa, which I will also say, as much as Mexico has changed, South Africa has changed. I don't think that this is that same South Africa team. One, they qualified. It's not. They're not hosting it this time. They're in it because they earned their spot. And Mexico, I mean, you're in it because you're hosting it. But I will say, a lot of pressure is going to be on Mexico. This is going to be the first game of the World Cup.
All eyes on them.
All eyes on them. The pressure, and I mean, the last two games that we saw, the last two friendlies that we saw with Mexico, their fans literally booed them because they played it in Mexico in quite some time now. Finally played in Mexico in home soil, and the fans let it be known to them. So this is definitely a high pressure situation. If you're Mexico right now, you want to set the tone right. I do believe in what Mexico is doing. I think if they, maybe not fully, because I think that there's some questionable calls what they do. But I just can't wait because Gilberto Mora is a lot of fun to watch. He's a really exciting kid for Mexico. But yeah, I think that first game is going to be exciting. And it's really cool that we get to see kind of a rematch of another World Cup inaugural match.
Yeah. I just wish that, yes, they're not familiar with South Africa, but they have to also remember that the South African team that's been put together is not a team that just, hey, this is international break. Let's get together and play a few games and then go elsewhere. That is 100% local national team. They all play in South Africa. They all play in the same team. And I think it's probably two teams that has the entire national team. So that means it's people that have played together for a very long time. And there's a pride. So I understand they think maybe it will be easy, but don't forget, this is the World Cup. Pride will take over skills any day. And if you already write them down, you know what happens. Typically, you will get punched in the face.
Exactly. Mo, your second takeaway from the groups.
I think and like we mentioned, maybe the group of death maybe kind of soften up a little bit because now we know that it's not just the first two teams that have to go. So I think that's maybe taking a little bit of the excitement of it. Because the group that I will be following much, would you imagine if it's only two of those teams that have to make it? So that
Mm,
means either France, Senegal, or Norway, technically, the soccer countries that one of them will have to not qualify for the round of 32.
hmm
So I think maybe that's the only thing that I'm kind of missing is the clear, obvious group of death.
Yeah, I think that I agree with that. I think that that's kind of where I'm like not entirely sure if there's really a group of death. I think also adding the fact that there's now 42 teams now in this World Cup. No, not 42. 48
Yep.
teams. Is it 48? Yeah, it's 48.
I think
It doesn't matter.
it's right. It's 30,
It's
48.
it's the expanded World Cup.
Yes.
Um, and I think because that it spreads out the groups a little bit. I don't want to say balance is the right word, but you do get more of a different taste of like different regions being playing against each other. Because I think what Group L has two European nations. Uh,
Yeah, I think most of them are playing different continents.
France has Norway. Uh, yeah,
Mm,
the Netherlands will have another UEFA nation with them.
in Croatia and England.
So that's three groups that will feature two UEFA teams in their groups. So yeah, it's a lot different versus the previous World Cups where you were guaranteed to have two UEFA nations in each group.
Yep.
So I think that does add to me. That adds, I guess, some balance, not fully because obviously, I know I'm assuming most people are expecting that the European nations will go far. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think I don't know who's my favorite yet. I haven't like actually gone
You
down.
already know. Come on. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I don't know. The people that are picking England is that is impressive, but
Yeah, well, can always hope.
that's very true. Yeah, you can always hope. Um, my third takeaway was actually going to be that there is actually more groups that don't have two European nations. Oh, I guess Group B also technically because Switzerland and then UEFA Pathway. So there's four groups here that are they're gonna have two European nations featured in their groups. So I think that just disperses a little bit more, changes like the competition a little bit. Um, the expanded World Cup, I do anticipate to see some more upsets than usual, kind of
Yeah.
similar to the previous Afcon. They expanded the Afcon, and I remember that opened up the possibility of some more upsets to happen, which that honestly was a really fun Afcon. Still can't believe Ivory Coast won it, but
Well, they don't either. So
honestly, I probably forgot that they did it, but it was still a fun Afcon nonetheless. I think the expansion does help a lot for the World Cup. Not too much. I think it was the sweet spot was 32 teams, but we'll see. I mean, obviously the first time you're gonna see it in a continent. Why not expand the World Cup? And obviously this is how it's gonna be for more years to come. Unfortunately, we're gonna have more multiple nation World Cups. I feel like we need to go back to just, which we will in Saudi Arabia. That's gonna be because no one else can compete with Saudi Arabia because all the nations have already played by that time. So if I was Morocco, I would have done it solo. I don't need Spain and Portugal to get the
yeah,
World Cup.
I think if Morocco was ready like they are now for the AFCON, if it was pre-selection,
Mm-hmm.
I think they would have had a better bid. But I think their infrastructure got improved in the past 4 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what kind of helped them, kind of help push because they had Spain and others. But if it was like, for example, now and they can send a bid now with all of the infrastructure, the stadiums and everything they're doing now, I think it would have been easy for them to get a World Cup because
Yeah,
those stadiums are amazing.
yeah. Because the next World Cup is gonna be weird because it's Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and then I believe the first matches are gonna be played in Chile.
So,
No. Argentina, Uruguay. Actually, yeah, it is Chile.
yeah, because of this, I guess, century or whatever
Yeah.
whatever
I
that
mean,
thing
if that's the
is.
case, might as well put it. They should have just had it in South America. I don't know why why you're gonna have games in. Yeah, that you want, complain about the U.S. as much as you want, but that just sounds even weirder. So,
Hopefully, those teams that played there will get at least 5 days of rest because that would be unfair to
that
them.
would suck.
Yes.
I can't wait for the World Cup drawing of just Messi.
Yeah, that pretty much will be it.
But what's your final takeaway from this, Moussa?
I think the last one will be that even though we complain about the extended one, I think it will make the tournament more exciting. One of the reasons why is that now the third place team knows that they still have a chance to play.
There's something
So
to
that
play
means
for.
whoever they play next for their third game, for example, if they know they're just there by goal differentials or 1 point, can you imagine that third game when they're no, it's pretty much their playoff,
Mm-hmm.
win or go home. It would not be a boring game where it's like, oh, we're already out of the tournament. We're just going to be there just for the kick of it.
You know
Now they
what?
know they have to
That's an interesting
play.
concept because you're talking about mentally going into that third game. That's like an additional knockout round
Yes.
in their heads. So if they were to win that in quote unquote additional knockout round, going into the round 32, they're already with a different mindset versus whoever's the team that they're going to go up against. I'm assuming somebody that's at a higher
Yeah. Yeah.
finish it first or second. So you're talking when you add that mentally, that's an upset waiting to happen with that kind of mentality versus a team that probably won their first two games and rested their guys for that third game. Now they're going into this game not necessarily fresh, but maybe not mentally as prepared as that team that's going to be a little bit more hungry going into that. If you,
Yeah.
I think we just sold people on the expanded World Cup. I think
Yeah. And if you think about it, if like number one is playing against number two and you're number three, and you know that if they lose, that means you have your 3 points and they have 2 points. So that means you can get ahead by 1 point. Or if you know that the first team knows that they've already qualified, so that means majority of their starters are not going to play. That means you have a chance now to get 3 points with their B squad.
mm-hmm.
So now there's the mental game now that comes into play where it's like, oh wait, if I do this and that, they do this. Isn't it what Americans like? It's playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
There you have it right there. You're third place. You're not dead yet unless you got massacred for your first two.
Exactly.
And you have a negative 36 in the goal differentials.
I love that thought, man. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, man, World Cup's gonna be exciting. Luckily, I'm gonna have some games here in Houston. I don't know if I want.
Don't brag.
I don't think I've won the lottery just yet. I mean, we'll find out. Actually, by the time this episode drops, we'll find out actually if I did get in on that Visa pre-sale, whatever that thing was, for FIFA. Also, guys, please do not buy tickets on SeatGeek. Do not buy tickets on any other ticketing site. If it's not through FIFA, they're not real. Please, 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 please do not do that. I had my cousin who spent $7,000 on a ticket, not knowing that was not a real ticket. So, please,
yes,
please do not shop over there. The tickets aren't out yet. No one has a ticket to the World Cup yet.
Please, you have a spot, but it's not guaranteed yet.
Yes, please wait. Just wait. If it's not through FIFA, it's only through FIFA. FIFA's also going to be doing the resales through FIFA. No one else can sell tickets anywhere else. Please.
yeah. And plus, don't rush too much as well, because I was telling other people is that also for those of you maybe that have other national affiliations, go to those nations. They will be also allocated tickets. any sponsors of the World Cup will have allocated tickets. Your companies will have allocated tickets. There's a huge bucket of tickets. It's a World Cup. You will see that there will be tickets available. It's just don't feel the need to rush if you don't get selected, because we are Hector and I knows tickets are being allocated all the time. There's enterprise tickets, there's fans tickets, there's national team tickets, friends and family tickets, or to this day tickets. You never know what happens. So yes, go through FIFA or play your cards right. There's ways.
Yeah. And if you're Moussa, unfortunately, you have to go to Kansas City to get tickets to get your matches.
No, I'm the plan. I Toronto. It's very feasible.
Yeah, I've heard.
Senegal's playing there.
Oh yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go see Senegal.
Yeah, and I lived in Canada, so I have my free pass. I can go in and out of there without any issues. So trust me, since today, logistic planning and all that is in full blown. I don't think there's many productive soccer fans these days.
That's very true. Very very true. Luckily, and here in Houston, I am guaranteed a Germany game, two Portugal games, and the Dutch national team.
Dang.
So that is that's a win on my book. Coworker of mine.
I might crash your house. Dang.
Hey, yeah, we'll get you some pupusas, man. So,
knock, knock.
So yeah, I think that's gonna be exciting. Like I said, we're not going into deep with the World Cup. We'll do that further closer down the road. We'll do full predictions and all that. But I think the World Cup draw, it is what it is. But I'm excited for the World Cup. It doesn't matter. The people that are trying to say that like, oh, this was all trying to get people Americans to like this. World Cup doesn't need anybody to help you sell in the World Cup.
Nope.
You just don't. You really don't need that. The World Cup sells itself. It happened in '94. It's gonna happen again in 2026, and I can't wait because now I'm not a baby. So that's the best part of it all. So I think I can't wait for this World Cup. This isn't the last you'll see Moussa. You'll see him actually immediately after as we talk about the MLS Cup playoff, the MLS Cup final. So don't worry, you'll get more Moussa for this episode. But
I want to apologize in advance.
All right, so we're gonna go take a quick break and then go right into the MLS Cup final.
Fight and win!
All right, Moose is back. He never left. So we have the MLS Cup final. Inter Miami beating the Vancouver Whitecaps 3-1. The scoreline, I think, maybe can be a little bit misleading to people. This was in no way a blowout. I think that we saw, in my opinion, two of the best teams that could be featured in a final. Vancouver, in my opinion, was the most complete team in MLS this season, besides the Philadelphia Union, but they choked that away. And then Inter Miami, I think, once again, you put Lionel Messi in a club final, the dude's just inevitable, which is probably that's literally exactly what happened here in this game. But Moussa, for you, when you saw Inter Miami and Vancouver going into the final, what was your initial thoughts about it, as far as someone that has nothing in stake between these two?
A little bit at stake, but I think I was excited about it because Vancouver was hot all third season. Then there's Messi and friends. Miami, everybody's bad at somebody at something, and it was Canada and US. But I think that the spectrum, it didn't have Messi and Mueller. That was also a nice contracts for those of us that watched Germany and Argentina and watching Bayern Munich against Barcelona. So you get that history that is like, hey, this is our childhood we're talking about right now. Mm-hmm. So that was good to see. And then it was a whole MLS spectrum. So, and then people started talking about it more than just you outside, because there was people that didn't watch MLS and they were asking me, it's like, hey, this is a big game. We'll hear Messi and Mueller was the the biggest names that people mentioned. So the hype was there. The game was interesting, but I'm sure we'll have a lot more to talk about that part.
No, yeah, I mean, once again, obviously Inter Miami 3, Vancouver 1. Vancouver had 65% of the possession. Vancouver also outshot Inter Miami 10-8, 4 shots on target to Miami's 3 shots on target. I also want to point out, Moussa, 55 total fouls in this
Okay,
game. Um, Actually, correction, 45 total fouls in this game, and
still love it.
Vancouver won by 1. Had one more foul than Inter Miami in this game. Also, with fouls come yellow cards, which was a total of 10 yellow cards, which Vancouver also won 6-4 in that one when it came
Yes,
down to it. I will say Vancouver was clearly got to play their game plan.
right.
But on the flip side, I think, in my opinion, this also worked towards Inter Miami's game plan because Vancouver was going to be the aggressor. They were going to stay with it, stay on the ball. They had the wing play coming. Obviously, a lot of good stuff happening as far as on the attack. As a matter of fact, initially the goal was scored by a Vancouver player, the first one, which was an own goal by Eddie Ocampo in the 8th minute. But in the second half, I think as you were watching the game progress, Vancouver was clearly on the cusp of having their goal. And it looked like because of just how well they were keeping the ball. But also, you got to give props for Miami, a team that maybe a lot of people criticize them defensively. Was it very physical? Yes. They played very physical, which I think, when you have guys like Maxi Falcon and Noah Allen, I mean, just staying physical with it. Props to Vancouver's wingers because they drew the fouls that they needed to draw to create those set pieces. But for me, at least with my thoughts, and maybe Moussa, you can correct me if you feel differently. Vancouver had the opportunities, they just didn't capitalize on them, and I think that was their downfall into this game because they were going. I think Inter Miami was going to play the long game. They were going to wait till they got tired out, and then pop off, which I feel like obviously eventually that did happen. Did you sense that same tactics in that game?
I I think capitalizing, yes, but I think it looks like also maybe a little luck was not on their side because you saw that double post one. Um, so I think it looks like the first half you could have seen they were on the front foot. That own goal was interesting, especially when he didn't have that much pressure on him. Usually those are the one where you know you clear it and ask for forgiveness later.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it almost looks like Messi Inter Miami had a little bit of luck on their side as well, but that's where the experience of the Alba, the Busquets, and the Messi, the experience that come into play where they let Vancouver play their game, and then right when it was the right time, that's where they were able to open them, and that's where Messi was able to do the last nice lobe over because they could see that the flanks guys were already tired.
Mm-hmm.
But I think also the Vancouver coach made a mistake when he took Ali Ahmed out because in those two substitutions, you saw how it shifted
Mm-hmm.
because they went a little bit more defensive. It looks like Vancouver from there,
Yeah,
and that's where
they brought in Ryan Gaulden, and then they brought in a center back as well. And yeah, they went a little bit more bold to go defensively. I think at that point because I think you needed a little bit more firepower. I think Ali was definitely your best guy at creating opportunities. I think he was very much a problem throughout
yeah,
the
and
game.
he could have gotten a PK. I think that was a
Oh,
PK, but
the Maxi, yeah,
yeah,
I completely agree.
yeah,
But yeah, Ali Ahmed, I felt like had definitely created most of the opportunities, but I think that is the theme, right? The missed opportunities because you had an Emmanuel Sabi up front right there. Could have just all you had to do was just put the ball in a different direction, but it just right at Rio Novos. Um, I mean, Ahmed's goal, as great as it was for them at that moment, it just I think maybe felt like you had 3 other clear opportunities that you could have capitalized on. You just didn't. And I think that was kind of what hurt Vancouver in the long run. And I think that they just hoped that what they were doing defensively was just going to be able to figure out. Unfortunately, it let in the 71st minute, Cuba's, which maybe because of tired legs, makes the mistake. Messi pounce on it, gets the ball to Rodrigo de Paul, and that's what got them the lead. And I mean the final goal, which was on stoppage time, just to clear the game, made it over, which was that goal from Tadeo Allende, who has been amazing in this playoff run for Inter Miami. Who would have thought you bench Luis Suarez and this kid gets his opportunity to shine? And I think also Messi was a part of the game. I don't think he got the assist for that one, but he was definitely a part of the play. Actually, I believe Jordi Alba was actually part of that one. So it was definitely, yeah, like you said, when it came down to it, the guys that need to step up, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, Lionel Messi, and his bodyguard, Rodrigo de Paul, those were the guys that came up and got Inter Miami their first ever MLS Cup. All right, guys, I didn't forget. I remembered. Maybe I wanted to forget a little bit, but a bet's a bet. So if you guys don't remember, when previewing the MLS Cup, well, not the MLS Cup, previewing the MLS season with Kelsey, I said that I would do a jersey giveaway if Inter Miami won the MLS Cup. And I did remember. I didn't try to forget. I'm sure I have plenty enough people that constantly remind me to begin with. So, yes, even though maybe I just got caught up too much in the conversation with Moussa, it's real easy to get lost in his eyes. I'm telling you guys. But, yes, there is a jersey giveaway. We are doing it. And the instructions are pretty easy. In the comments, the pinned comment, there is a link to enter into the giveaway. It is a one-time thing. If I see multiple accounts, which I'm sure that's going to happen, but if I see multiple names, if I see multiple similar emails, I am going to only count one. So, we will announce the winner at the end of the year episode, which isn't that long. That episode's gonna drop on. Actually, it's next week. So, when we come back for New Year's, New Year's break, so we'll give you enough time to, enter and all that. When we come back from New Year's, we will announce it on that episode who is the winner. Obviously, it will be available on YouTube, so be on the alert of if your name was chosen. We'll also post it on social media, of course. But be on alert. Make sure you guys follow us on YouTube. Make sure you follow us. Follow Belly Up Sports on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, wherever Instagram FC is available, because we will post it there to announce who is the winner of the jersey giveaway. Obviously, it's Inter Miami. We're going to have to give away an Inter Miami kit. Now, I will give the option, probably this is going to bite me in the ass, but I will give the option to make it a Messi kit. So, Inter Miami kit, you can have it blank, or for those people that think it's weird to have another man's name in your back, or you get a Messi Inter Miami kit. Those are the options. It is going to be an Inter Miami kit. Obviously, the bet was around Inter Miami, so that is the giveaway. It's going to be an Inter Miami kit. Those are going to be the two options, and obviously we will contact the winner if they get selected. So that's all we got. That's what it is. There you go. So no, I didn't forget. Kind of wanted to forget, but we didn't forget. That's how you have this. That's what you have to do to enter into the jersey giveaway. So let's continue on with the rest of the discussion. Which, regardless, we were going to have a first-time MLS Cup champion.
Yes.
But, look, am I an Inter Miami hater? No. I really don't have a reason to hate this club, because, one, they're not in my conference. I never have to worry about them. Also, my team has beat Miami in a cup final. Was Messi in the field? No. But still, I got it. It happened. So
hey. Miami has never beat St. Louis, so hey, there you go.
It's about our battles. It's our mini battles that we take.
Yep, and they're still scared to come to St. Louis, so yeah.
Yep. And Messi's afraid of playing on turf field. That's why they didn't play it in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole nother discussion. And MLS could have made a lot more money if they were in Vancouver.
just making. I don't know, the way they make those that price increase for Miami games is crazy.
Yeah, but that stadium is bigger though.
Oh yeah. BC, yeah, it is. Yeah. So Miami wins their first cup. Obviously, this is the goal that David Beckham had since he finally got the opportunity to buy a team, which was Inter Miami, along with the Moss brothers. This came to be. They were like, we're gonna do what we need to do to build a club, which was basically forget all the rules that MLS has for salary restrictions and just go full send. I mean, it all started. Well, it didn't all start, but I mean, the controversy with Blasi Matuidi that they had when their first go at it, and now you have Messi, who basically became LeBron James, which was like, bring my friends to Miami, which, I mean, you played in the coldness of Europe. You're not going to say no to an opportunity to live in the sunny side of Florida. So
less pressure and everything else. So yeah, I think I've had a little bit of that Miami hatred, but at the same time, is that the honors that they have, you wish you had, and they were doing the same thing, because if it was your team, you would not be complaining about what they're currently doing.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all been in world of soccer. We know that if you have ambitious owners and if you're allowed to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is then, is your team and your players to stop them. My only gripes about players maybe is that I think they're still following the hype of Messi.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think, and I think that's the part of European soccer that I kind of miss, where yes, we know Messi's coming to town, but once during the 90 minutes, they're like, he's Messi, but we're going to make sure he's not being Messi.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to here's like maybe, back off a little bit because it's Messi. I'm a PSG fan. We were not that nice to Messi, even when he was a player for us.
Mm-hmm.
You deliver. We know who's your name on the back of the jersey, but still, you're a player at the moment during those 90 minutes. And that's where Messi does, right? If you give him a little bit of space, just like he did during the final, you make a stupid mistake, the ball gets at his feet, and he's close to the box, 99.99999% of the time, he's going to punish you. And he did.
Yeah, speaking as a Madridista, I can definitely vouch for that one. Obviously, this is now the final games of Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba as professional players. Obviously, guys that are very decorated in the game as well with their time in Barcelona and also with the Spanish national team. I mean, Messi invites them, tells them to come to Miami. They're like, why not? Let's do another go about with our best friend, and now they get to ride on the sunset as champions of Major League Soccer. Look, like I said this with Messi, and I'm gonna also mention it for these guys as well. Like, at this point where they are in their careers, they probably didn't really need this cup to cement themselves as far as amongst the world of football. But I mean, who doesn't love walking off with a trophy?
That's what everybody wants to. And well, as you see, Busquets and Alba did not have the greatest time at Barca when they were leaving, anyways, because that was a team in transition. So why not go to a team where it's less pressure in the league? Everybody will kiss up to you. And now you're in Miami playing soccer with your friend and family. I mean, just watching those pictures when, it's like they're in a circle, when they have all the wives and all of the kids together. Like, who in the world would not love to be able to play a sports, get paid a lot of money, hang out with your friends, be on the beach, on the sun? Heck yeah. And there will be a lot more coming until he retires.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
Exactly. I think that's gonna be the interesting part of like who comes in for those two. Now you're talking about arguably one of the greatest sixes to have ever played the game in Sergio Busquets, redefining the six role in some people's views, not mine.
Not mine.
And then you have Jordi Alba, who was a really good left back. I wouldn't say he's the best left back in the world. That's Marcelo.
A true Real Madrid fan.
but still, I mean, very much decorated guys, man, for sure. And from what it seems like, it does seem like Luis Suarez will be actually leaving Inter Miami. He will be heading back to Uruguay to play with his boyhood club Nacional, which I think that's gonna be really cool for him. Another good way to go out is going where it is.
I think for every soccer player, that's what they should do before they hang their boots. It's to go to their club. The team that made them first professionals has like a thank you. Mm-hmm. And that applies to any players.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you get, Inter Miami, 2 more years of Lionel Messi, right? Till 2028, he's staying put with them. Things are changing in MLS, right? After the World Cup, they're going to start changing the season schedule to now fall in line with the rest of the world. I would be assuming a change in the playoff format as well. Maybe even changes to how player acquisitions are done. Maybe changes to the roster requirements. Maybe some leeway on the salary cap, or maybe even remove it. And obviously, this is all because of what Inter Miami has been doing. They've been kind of becoming like the main force of pushing these changes for Major League Soccer, which honestly, hate those guys for all you want, but this is kind of what you've been hoping for as a fan, is for these changes to come. And Jorge Mas, he sees what can make this league better. And while it was cool initially, at least being different, now we need to start getting in line with the rest of the world. And I think obviously Messi has definitely been that person that's been kind of viewed as the face of the change of MLS, which is probably not the truth, but still, that's what's being viewed at. But yeah, you got 2 more years of Lionel Messi at Inter Miami, guaranteed, unless he just decides to hang it up out of nowhere. You lose Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba. Suarez, I feel like you kind of already have your person, because Allende definitely
he just knocked it off,
completing 180 after Suarez was benched. Like, is this the beginning of that Inter Miami dynasty, knowing that you only got 2 more years with Lionel Messi? Because I'm assuming this is it for him. This is the last contract we're going to see of Lionel Messi.
Or probably go back to his boyhood club for maybe a season or farewell too. I don't know. I think for me, the biggest thing I'm interested to see now is that will the MLS affect like they did with LA Galaxy with the parity thing? What are they going to do now? Is Miami going to be depleted like LA Galaxy did, or they're going to kind of bend the rule and says, no, you're Miami, you can keep everything as is? I think that's the one that I'm wondering.
A lot of these guys are loaned out, because I believe Weigert, I believe one of the fullbacks that they had, I think he's a Boca Junior player. I think Savetti is also a loan player.
Sounds like a lot of lone players.
Rocco Rio Novos, he's also a lone player. He's actually from Phoenix Rising. Also, probably should give him a shout out, because the guy won the USL Championship with Phoenix Rising, I believe, like 2 years ago. Dang. Comes to Miami, which maybe wasn't viewed as even a thought of to be the starting goalkeeper for Inter Miami. I think Ustadi came in, didn't work out as great, maybe because of the defensive issues that Miami had initially. But he comes on, and since he took over, Miami was actually really good on the defensive side since he took over. Coincidence probably, but I mean, the guy made some great stops. I mean, say what you want about that Ali goal. He put his hand on it, just he didn't, instead of stopping the shot, instead of probably parrying the shot away, he went for the stop, which maybe that was just a missed call on his judgment. But aside from that, he's been very important to Inter Miami. So I just want to point that out because a USL product, or maybe not USL product, a guy that maybe didn't pan out initially in MLS. I believe he was an Atlanta United player initially, but then went to Phoenix Rising, and now gets to play alongside Lionel Messi. So,
and there's multiple paths to the top league, and I guess he's another product of what can happen.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting what Inter Miami does with him. Like, are they going to go after another goalkeeper, or do they try to keep him along to keep building his growth?
That'd be messed up if they go something. He's young. I mean, give him that opportunity to show.
For a keepers they could play for quite some time.
Like 34.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely for him, he's got a lot left. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Europe can come a knocking for him. I think he has something that I think a lot of teams would like in his ability to make smart decisions.
And maybe in 2 years when Messi says goodbye, that's where everybody says goodbye.
Yeah, probably. But as far as you feel, like, is there well, I mean, the question will be, does this roster essentially get in shambles, similar to what happened with LA Galaxy, which I think that is something that MLS needs to fix, because it's crazy, a team that won the MLS Cup with a really good team, and then all of a sudden just becomes a shambles, and it was horrific. So
bad. Not just like not playing well. It was terrible.
It was rough. It was not easy to see. Injuries that came into play, but not for it to be that bad.
Yeah,
that is
one
true.
player injured, like, okay, and I guess he's not just Ricky Puig was like the maestro in the middle, but then after that you take his firepower up front, and then that was a fun, interesting way to say thank you to your champion.
So obviously, MLS, it's over. We won't have it back till like late March, early April. But for you, where do people take MLS right now? From what we were able to see this past season, I think obviously MLS is continuing to evolve. As someone that maybe with an outsider's perspective, but now obviously a fan of an MLS team now, as you are with St. Louis. What does this do for MLS, especially going into a year where the World Cup is going to be?
I think, I don't know about, I'm wondering to see what the numbers will be like of what the final was. But now the question is how MLS is going to ride that train for the next, I guess, 3 months first, while there's no MLS. And then how they can ride that train till the World Cup. Because now it's not like everybody can just go on vacation and hope for the season to start. So are they going to be less of this is our own team, where you become now this is America's league, right? Every other countries, it's your soccer league is the country's league. In the US, unfortunately, with sports, is like you're your own entity, and then you have to promote your own entity. But now, MLS, you're the big boy, so you have to technically say, MLS, here's the World Cup. This is what soccer, we represent soccer, and this is what it is like. So I think that's the only part where I'm curious how they will take that. Whereas just we own MLS soccer, but now you have to be MLS soccer of America, if that makes sense.
No, I agree. I think at some point there's got to be a connection with the country, especially if if you're going to be the top flight, and I think right now we're in this bizarre situation right now where USL is kind of making that, trying to ruffle up the feathers on that part. Though I will say, I don't know, your thoughts on the protest that they did in the final, in the USL championship game?
That was a bad look. And I think it was a bad look to begin with. Like, if you have still negotiations with the player associations and all that, this is like the finals, right? So that means you want to make sure that you kind of keep those players happy, somewhat, I guess we'll say, or make some type of agreements that's, does not make the whole league look bad. Because it's not just that, right? They show river rounds as well when they celebrated. Apparently, when you get champagne and all that, apparently there was none of that. And they didn't even have Pittsburgh didn't even have a parade. So they just won, got a little bit of celebration on the stadium, got the trophy, chicken sandwiches, and then go home. Like, you won the championship. You're supposed to have your parade. You're supposed to have all of those crazy stuff happen.
I mean, Inter Miami is still partying right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have not slept in days. So I think that's where that was a bad look for USL when they're trying to ride the train of what's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You want the world to see that maybe MLS is not just the factor. You want USL, right? So that was a bad look. But I guess now the question remains is, how are they going to solve that?
Yeah, because I felt there was a lot of pressure coming to MLS because of USL. But I think now, if anything, this proves to MLS that, like, how about you fix your league before you try to go up against us?
Yeah, or at least find ways to massage what is being seen to the world, right? Because you and I probably don't follow USL as much as we want to.
Mm-hmm.
But look at us now. We're talking about the protest and some of the things that have happened. And then you hear the Carolina team that folded say they will not be playing next year when their team is getting ready to play a playoff game.
Yeah.
And I had a few guys that I know that on that team is like, how do you expect these guys to go 110% in the game when they know that next year, it's not that their contract won't be picked up, it's that next year the entire team won't be there because the owner wants to get ready for their D1 team. They didn't fold because they don't have money. They didn't fold because they don't have stadium, or it's just that they want to get ready for the D1 sanctioning game. So it's like, that's 3 bad looks in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it had a lot of the good publicity, but those 3 things were a very bad look.
It really did set them back. I agree with that.
Yes.
But obviously, MLS Cup final happened. What a final. Like I said, scoreboard was a little bit misleading. I think it was a good final. Congratulations, Miami. You finally did it. Took, I don't know how much money, but it did. But, like I said, man, with Messi, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I think him becoming the villain of MLS, which is honestly maybe a different role for how he perceives it. I don't think, obviously, if you're not an MLS fan, you probably don't see it that way. But if you're someone that likes Major League Soccer and you're seeing kind of what's being changed for Miami, it does become a little bit frustrating, especially when your team is dealing with having to be in line with the regulations that Major League Soccer has. That's just our coping. I know it is what it is, but at the end of the day, this was the vision of David Beckham. This is what he wanted to do. He brought it took him 5 seasons to win an MLS Cup. It took Messi 3 to do it. And I forgot how long Inter Miami has existed at this point. But yeah, it took a while for David Beckham. A lot of trial and error. A lot of trial. but they're here. So, yeah,
Champs.
that is the MLS Cup final. Moussa, thank you so much for coming on and talking with me with FIFA World Cup draws and now the MLS Cup final. This is your time, buddy, man. Tell all the people what's going on with Moussa.
Oh, I think first off, thanks for having me again. So it's been a while. Um, as you all know, AFCON is starting in about 2 weeks or so. So we'll be doing a whole bunch of live watch-alongs, recaps. I have a good friend of mine, African from in Canada. So we'll be doing a lot of those recaps as well. There will be some interviews that you guys don't want to miss from players, coaches from that side of the world. And a few more interviews that will be coming up. Season 5 of Mo Football recording will kick off. And just looking forward to do more Golds TV talks with my good friend, Jose, Hector, and everybody else. And you can find me all on Mo Football TV, but mostly Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and a little bit of X.
Yeah, man, find him. He's a great person. You know what? Even better of a person as a content creator. He's the best, man. Especially covering all the levels of football, especially in the St. Louis region. Make sure you guys check him out, man. It's great stuff. He interviewed me. That was different for me, but it was awesome. Also, always love to do stuff with Moussa. It's always the best. I always look forward to when we do Wake Up MLS together. It's just a good time in general, man. You are a true lover of the game. You breathe football. Also played in PSG's academy, guys. Just always want to flex that.
Yeah, we tried to.
But yeah, truly the best, man. I appreciate you, and obviously, man, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
All right, we're gonna take a break and then go into Liga MX because the finals come in this weekend.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I want to give a special thank you to Moussa. Always great to have him on. It's always a joy to have him and discuss the many things of the world of football, especially because of his perspective. It's just it's one that I truly appreciate because very essentially, I don't want to say outsider's perspective, but obviously someone that grew up through a football nation to come into the United States where obviously it's very different versus the rest of the world. To have his perspective, it's tenfold. Honestly, it's tenfold. But all right, so Liga MX playoffs, the semifinals have concluded, and we're going into the final. And I'm gonna say, I am completely and utterly disappointed by the semifinals. I'm just gonna say it. I was disappointed. I was excited about these matchups. I thought these were going to be great matchups. They were going to make great. All four of them were going to make great finalists and great champions for the Apertura. And the way this went down, it goes back to my biggest gripe. Literally 2 years ago, well, maybe a year and a half ago, I said it that we need to fix the aggregate rule. I've said it plenty of times on this podcast that I'm not a fan of the aggregate rule. Liga MX playoffs is one that I truly enjoyed. The only thing I don't like is this aggregate, but besides the play-in round that they do, I don't like the aggregate rule. I just don't like it. If you guys don't know the aggregate rule is if it's tied on aggregate. So obviously Liga MX plays 2 games. They have 2 legs throughout also to the final. The final will also be a 2-leg matchup. The higher seed automatically advances. Obviously, this rule does not apply in the final, but throughout the tournament, the higher seed automatically advances to the next round if it's tied on aggregate. So, because of that, it doesn't matter if you had more away goals or if you had, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. The higher seed automatically advances. It is one of my biggest gripes of this competition. It is going to continue to be one of my biggest gripes of this competition till they fix that, because once again, we're talking about semifinals. And it's funny enough because I kind of recycled that clip. I reshared it, and it still applies. It still applies. A year and a half ago, it still applies to now. And it's funny because it does feature Monterrey, and it still applies. So the first semifinal was first place Toluca beating fifth place Monterrey 3-3 on aggregate. Monterrey got a 1-0 victory over Toluca in the first leg. Second leg, they ended up losing 3-2. But if you were to go by the away goal rule, Monterrey would advance because they got 2 road goals. But obviously, that's not the case. It is the higher seed rule. Now, am I taking away anything from Toluca? No, because I think Toluca still played very amiably. They played very well. First leg, that game could have been a lot worse, and it didn't. They obviously, because they're very good defensively. It was a really good defensive showdown between the two. Second leg, we got to see the firepower between these two teams. And but I mean, I understand that the Toluca is a really good team. It's just really unfortunate that even if we didn't go to the away goal rule, which I don't want, that's not the case either. I don't want them to have a winner off of a technicality. I would have loved this game to go to extra time. I would have loved to see this game go to penalties because both teams put it out there in that second leg. That's a game that deserves to go to extra time. That's a game that deserves to go to penalties. It deserves drama. It deserved all the drama that should come with that game. And that's the unfortunate part. That is the part that pisses me off, especially as someone that likes Toluca, as someone that's been also rooting for Monterrey because Sergio Ramos is there. Like, I enjoy these matches, and I wish they would have done the fans by right. We should have got extra time. We should have. Just point blank. Is Toluca a good team? Yes. Should they deserve to be in the final? Of course. But to me, there's an asterisk now on this. There's a real asterisk on this to me. But yeah, so Toluca advances because of the aggregate rule. The other matchup, Tigres, second place Tigres beats third place Cruz Azul 2-2 on because of the aggregate rule. First leg was a 1-1 draw. Second leg was a 1-1 draw. That's it. Another matchup that deserved to go to extra time. Both teams played their balls off. Both great performances, both solid performances, solid defensive effort, and nothing in return for nothing, because Tigres, all they needed was a draw. Cruz Azul needed a win, and so another game that should have gone to extra time, another game that should have gone to penalties. I will say it was lackluster. This semifinal was lackluster. It's a disappointment. It should have been better. These are 4 great teams that deserve to be are all quality of winning the Apertura. All of them are, and it's unfortunate that they don't get the true experience and the true playoff experience. Like, not the true, and when I say playoff experience, I mean the whole experience. Like, even for the fans, like the fans, I feel are robbed. The fans are completely robbed because we didn't get to see extra time. We didn't get to see penalties from both these matches, because both of these matches were good. Both of these matches were great. It's awful, a dumb technicality that's the reason why Toluca and Tigres advanced. And they're great. They're great. This is going to be a great matchup. That's the part that pisses me off more than anything else. This is a great matchup, but that's going to linger. This is going to linger. This gave me a bad taste in my mouth. But we're going to see the first and second place team go at it, which is awesome. But just know that I'm just not as thrilled. I'm still going to enjoy it. I'm still going to watch it. But it's just disappointing. But yeah, the final. First place Toluca taking on second place Tigres. Both teams have been great. It went down the wire to see who would be in first place this season. So this is, honestly, I feel like it was kind of the match that it was destined to happen. It really is. And as much as I said what I said about the semifinal, I'm still very excited about this final. I think this is once again two of the best teams in Liga MX this season. It's going to come down to who wants it more. Is it Toluca's attack, or is it going to be Tigres' defense? I don't even want to pick a favorite. I don't even want to pick who I want to win. I'm going to sit back and enjoy this matchup and just embrace it all. But is it disappointing that this is the final because of what came from with the semifinal? Yeah, definitely. Am I going to be excited if Toluca repeats? Yes. Am I going to be happy if Tigres wins? Yes. I don't have a team. I don't have a team in this. Like I said, I grew up. Well, if you guys want to know, as far as Liga MX goes, I watched Liga MX as a kid because of the fact that I grew up with a lot of friends that were Mexican. A lot of them were fans of Liga MX sides. A lot of guys were Club America fans. A lot of guys were Chivas de Guadalajara fans. I had some friends that were Tigres fans. So as far as like the Mexico landscape, those were the three fan bases that I generally hung out with. I decided to be different and pick Toluca, so that's what I ended up. But like Toluca, for a reason why I was kind of a fan of Toluca growing as a kid, was because of Hernan Cristante, Jose Cardozo, um, Vicente Sanchez, Paulo da Silva, Zinha. Like that team. I grew up watching that team, and that team was fun to watch. I was excited when they won the Liga MX, when they won the Liga MX season, when they played against Monterrey. It was an awesome experience. Now, do I still feel like a Toluca fan? Not really. But I still have a soft spot for them. And on top of that, Hector Herrera obviously plays for them. But yeah, but on the flip side, I have a lot of fun with Tigres. Tigres is such a fun team. And I mean, they have like a lot of big names as well in that team. You know, I love Gignac. I love, you know, to some extent, I like Diego Lainez. I like Marcelo Flores. You know, I mean, Nael Guzman is just a fun player to watch, just regardless. I have nothing against both these sides. I think this is going to be a great final. I hope that once again the first leg isn't a blowout. I hope that it's very tight throughout, and I hope this game goes far. I hope this game goes to distance. I hope it goes to extra time, and I hope it goes to penalties, because this should be the best game ever. It's 100% should be the best game ever, because it is two best teams in Liga MX. It is the two best teams in Liga MX going at it to see who's gonna win the Apertura, and I'm just gonna sit back, drink my beer, and enjoy probably one of the best Mexican football I'm ever gonna watch. In quite some time. So we'll see what happens there. I'm really excited for it. But yeah, you should be too. I know the semifinals gave all of us a bad taste in our mouths, but it's still going to be a great final. So with all that being said, man, it's going to be a great one. I can't wait. So there's that. Let's take a break and then go right into games to watch, as well as an update on the jersey bet.
I love soccer, Peggy.
All right, guys, a quick update on the jersey bet between me, Edward, and Spencer. If you guys don't know, little backstory of the podcast. Edward is a Barcelona and Manchester United supporter. I support Arsenal, and I'm a Madrista. And Spencer loves Atletico Madrid and also supports Manchester City. So with that being said, we initially did it with a lot more teams, like across all the Power Five of the. At least the top 4 teams, but I'll be honest with you, I wasn't like, this is really the 2 teams that as far as Europe goes, that I put more attention to, which is Arsenal and Real Madrid, primarily Real Madrid. But, so we decided, what we used to do was a singing bet. So the loser had to sing the songs of the person that finished on top of the table's choosing. Obviously we don't do that anymore because of copyright. And so, but here is the official table now that everybody has played each other. Arsenal has played Man City and Man United, same vice versa. Real Madrid has now already played Barcelona and has played Atletico Madrid. Everybody's faced off against each other. So we're at our halfway point of the season. And right now, sitting in first place is Spencer. Spencer and me both are tied on points, but Spencer does have the advantage with the goal differential, and that mainly comes from the 5-2 win that Atletico Madrid got over Real Madrid. So they do have a big advantage, and they also got a big win against Manchester United. Man City got a big 3-0 victory against Manchester United. So that's also how Spencer is on top of the table. Now, can things change? We'll see, man. I'm excited to see how the second half goes. Will Spencer be getting a jersey, or will it be me, or can Manchester United and Barcelona get it together for a bounce back for Edward? We will find out in the second half of the season. So, but yeah, so that is the jersey bet update, just so you guys know. All right, no players of the week this week because it is coming down to 2 players. At this point, it's been a bizarre series of players of the week. There hasn't been a lot of lopsided picking, but it is coming down to two players, and those guys are Harry Kane from Bayern Munich and Kylian Mbappe of Real Madrid. So those guys have been picked the most for players of the week throughout the year of 2025. And so we're going to do a vote to see who is in fact going to be the 2025 Roosevelt Spanish Player of the Year award, which will be announced next week. So we'll post that up on our social media so you guys can go ahead and start voting to see who is going to be our 2025 Player of the Year. But yeah, so there's that. All right, games to watch. We have the Liga MX final. There's no brainer. Hopefully the second leg is not going to be a blowout. So we'll see what happens. The game is played on Thursday. They're playing the first leg on Thursday. So there's also that to watch on Thursday. But Sunday will be the final. We also have Ajax taking on Feyenoord over in the Netherlands. The Scottish League Cup final. I know things didn't look great on Wilfred Nancy's debut with Celtic as they lost to Hearts 2-1. But they have an opportunity to lift a trophy under Wilfred Nancy. So it is going to be St. Mirren taking on Celtic for the Scottish League Cup final. We also have Trabzonspor taking on Beşiktaş in Turkey. Little rivalry over there in Turkey. Two really good teams over there in Turkey. In Ligue 1, we got Stade Rennes taking on Brest. Marseille taking on AS Monaco. That's some good matchups over there in Ligue 1. In the Bundesliga, we got SC Freiburg taking on Borussia Dortmund and Werder Bremen taking on VfB Stuttgart. In the Bundesliga, in the Serie A, we got Atalanta taking on Cagliari. Two teams that are really not doing that great, but hopefully are looking to start a bounce back. Bologna taking on Juventus in the Serie A. So those are going to be the matchups over there, looking to bounce back after losing. Did they lose Napoli? I believe they lost to Napoli. I could be wrong. Let me see. Napoli. They did, in fact, lose to Napoli 2-1. Oh, look, Ocean scored 2 goals. I'm sure Manchester United is not pissed about that. In La Liga, we got Getafe taking on Espanyol and Alaves taking on Real Madrid after just an embarrassment against Celta Vigo. So we'll see how they respond. I mean, they got Man City during this week, but we'll see how they respond in those games. In the Premier League, we got Chelsea taking on Everton and Liverpool that's dealing with a lot of drama right now, going up against Brighton. Can they bounce back? We'll see what happens then. But obviously, that's not all the games that are being played this weekend. But if you guys need a good beginner's guide, I think we gave you guys some good matchups to keep an eye on. So with all that being said, we're going to take one last break and then wrap this show up.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
All right, guys. First of all, thank you to Moussa. Thank you for coming on and talking the FIFA World Cup draw as well as the MLS Cup final. Make sure you guys follow him at MoFootball TV. Once again, let me pull it up. Let me pull up his stuff, man. Like, what am I doing here? Let me do it right. Let me do it right. That's not where to go. That's where I need to go. MoFootball TV. Okay. Make sure you guys follow him at MoFootball FC. Once again, at MoFootball FC. So you can check him out. Obviously, follow him. Also, check him out on YouTube. Always posting a lot of stuff, man. He is doing a lot of stuff, especially in the St. Louis community, international, all the way down to the high school level, man. Go ahead and check out all the great stuff that he's doing, man. Go give him the love and support that he so truly deserves. Great person, even greater friend. So make sure you check him out. Also, check out Belly Up Sports, bellyupsports.com. Lots of articles being written right now. A lot of drama in the college football playoff world as far as the rankings and who's going to be in the college football playoff. So go ahead and check that out there. Obviously, we're going into the tail end of the NFL season. As a matter of fact, my Houston Texans are currently playing the Kansas City Chiefs, hoping to finally beat the Chiefs. So we'll see what happens there. But lots of great stuff as far as American sports going go ahead and be on the know over there at Belly Up Sports. Also follow them on Instagram and X at Belly Up Sports, the internet sports bar right there. Also, Goals TV, man. Subscribe to their YouTube channel, man. Lots of great content over there. Some interesting comments on the last video that they did for the MLS Cup final. I was in the video. But yeah, lots of interesting comments were made on that one. But go subscribe to their channel. Also follow them on X on goals_TV, GOLZ_TV, and on Instagram at goals.tv, GOLZ.tv. So you can see what's going on over there at Goals. Also check out some great shows like Wake Up MLS, Unleashed with Eric Winalda. Lots of great stuff, man, over there. Also, last but not least, especially if you guys listen to the audio version of this podcast, you guys hear some great audio, right? Some amazing audio. Well, that's made by none other than Roosevelt Spencer. He is the namesake of the Roosevelt Spencer's Player of the Year award. We love him so much. We named the award after him. He provides some great beats. I mean, come on. You guys heard it. You guys love it too. So if you guys need some beat work done, hit him up. Follow him on Instagram at ThatGuyDope. Once again, at ThatGuyDope. Shoot him a message. Tell him, hey, the guys from Insert Name FC have sent us. Please bless us with some beats, whether you're a podcaster, a YouTuber, or a musical artist yourself. Having original beats goes a long way because that copyright strike does suck wholeheartedly. So if you guys want that, message him, tell him that we sent you, and I'm sure he'll take great care of you like he always does with us because we love Roosevelt Spencer. With all that being said, man, thank you so much for listening to 242. Catch us next week for our end of the year episode. It's going to be a fun one. And then we'll be going on break for the holiday season. Obviously, Christmas, New Year's. We'll probably take we'll take like a 3-week break and then go right back into podcasting. So get ready for that, man. With all that being said, thank you so much. Catch us next week for the end of the year episode. Take care, guys.